Hello, everybody. All right. So we have about 20 minutes to talk about La Santa Muerte, the cult figure, folk saint, and essentially death herself that has become an icon in the Mexican community and especially in the United States community, as anyone who has seen Breaking Bad probably knows or read any sensationalist headlines on newspapers or elsewhere. Of course, you're not going to get everything in 20 minutes, so it's going to be a very fast, very quick glimpse into her. I'm going to share my screen because I have a wonderful PowerPoint. Chat's going to be here. I'm not going to be looking at chat, so don't be saying something to me and thinking I ignore you. I'm just not looking. So in about 20 minutes, I'll come back for a Q&A, and then we'll have lots of fun then. But let me share my screen. There we go. Hopefully everyone can see this. Let's see. Let's see. Type in chat real quick if you can see this, the La Santa Muerte PowerPoint. That'll help me out. Okay, perfect. Because once this is open, I can't see. Okay, here we go. So La Santa Muerte. This is me. This is my book, La Santa Muerte, Unearthing the Magic and Mysticism of Death by me, Tomás Prower. There's lots of books on La Santa Muerte out there. This book specifically works towards those already familiar with metaphysics, more familiar who have a touch or a dabbling in magical communities or in magic of some sort. It relates the magic of La Santa Muerte to those people who are familiar with magic already, rather than just a straight up ground zero level. This is a lot of times what you see, and this is a lot of how I first met La Santa Muerte. We don't have time for my personal stories, so we're not going to get into that right now. You want that? That's in the book. But what this is right here is that you see a lot of other saints. You see a lot of other religious images, even Jesus in his agony moment. You see religions from all around the world, usually American or Latin American or Caribbean. And you see the Virgin Mary in a few places, including Our Lady of Guadalupe. And we'll get into that in a bit. Let me tell you what Santa Muerte isn't for a brief, quick, hot second, though. What she isn't is this sugar skull face painting stuff. This is La Catrina. Now, I'm not one who goes around gatekeeping cultures, especially in my own Latino culture, going saying, hey, you can't do that. You can't wear that. To me, it's not cultural appropriation. It's cultural misappropriation. When you don't understand something or you take something sacred or something earned in a devotional community or cultural community and just wear it for funsies. This is one of those things. If you look online, you Google La Santa Muerte, you'll see a lot of this. No, what this is people who want to get into the fun kind of goth, scary deathness, but they also want to look cute and get likes on Instagram because they want to be death, but make it pretty, make it sexy. No, that's not what that's not what she is. La Santa Muerte is death itself. And before we go any further, a lot of people who are into La Santa Muerte like to get into her because she is kind of transgressive. She's kind of scary, ooky, spooky. But these same people are uncomfortable talking about their own deaths, haven't made their own funeral plans, don't want to talk about darkness or evil or, the other side. If you're one of the white light happy people and you want to work with death itself and are scared of your own mortality, that's called hypocrisy. That magic ain't going to work. This is more along the lines of La Santa Muerte. You see here the very Our Lady of Guadalupe image, and she's basically seen as a substitute for the Virgin Mary within a lot of the communities. Again, in a lot of these communities, because it's not an organized religion, you'll get a lot of different beliefs and different ideas of what she is and isn't. It's not united. There's no gospel truth of what she is, and it varies from person to person. However, we're going to speak in generalities. And what this comes from is a lot of anyone familiar with Mexican culture or grew up in it, it's very conservative. It's very machista, very machismo, man rules. And if you are different from proper Catholic society, you do not belong in the community. And when you do not belong, how do you get your prayers answered? it's tricky because let's say, you're a queer person, or you have some sort of fringe beliefs. You're an unmarried woman with children. You're a prostitute. You're a criminal. Are you going to pray to God to help turn a trick? Is God going to help you find a same-sex lover? Is God going to help you aim the gun to get the bullet right into the cop's heart? No, all loving, all wonderful God is not going to help you with that. But you know who is? La Santa Muerte. And that's why a lot of people see her as this like evil narco saint who helps bad people do bad things. Does she? Oh my God, absolutely. But is she also good and loving, motherly, grandmotherly, comforting? Yes. And that's her duality that kind of rules people's images of her. Anyone who says, oh no, she's only happy, love, and light, they have some demons that they have not looked into themselves with. But with the evil side, or, evil in quotes, is that she has no moral compass. And so a lot of people come to her for the same kind of refuge. People go to her to do some pretty horrific things. So again, back to is she going to help you turn a trick? Is she going to help you find a same-sex lover? Is she going to help you, get smuggle drugs across the border or murder a bunch of people with, automatic rifles? Absolutely. When she does that, it's because, again, she has no moral compass. And it goes back to what is death? Death takes everyone, whether you're young, whether you're old, whether you're a good person, whether you're a bad person, regardless of your belief, regardless of what you've done in life. So death takes everyone, and death sees everyone absolutely equally. And in that supreme equality, people find comfort. If you're on the fringe of society, yes, she accepts you. She doesn't care about any of your demographics. She doesn't care about your beliefs. She doesn't care how you live life or what you need to do to survive. She loves you and she'll take care of you. It goes the other side. You want to do some pretty bad stuff. You want to do some pretty heinous stuff. She won't judge you for it. So that's why she gets a lot of the extremes. She gets the misfits of the world who want to belong and find their tribe. But she also gets a lot of, murderers, killers, a lot of people involved in the drug cartels. But similarly, especially in Mexico, she's very popular among the police. People who have to put themselves in danger, or people who have shady businesses themselves, again, the police. So it depends on where you look for and what your own baggage and issues from your own past are when you come to her. But if you go into her community, she's very accepting. And if you are not accepting her community, you will not get along with her community members. Again, she supports everyone's troops. There's a war going on. She loves both sides. World War II, she'll help the Nazis just as much as she'll help the Allies. I know that's super controversial because once someone starts making, remarks like that, it's like, oh, we're done. He went to the extreme. But it's going to the extreme to make a point of there is no extremes with La Santa Muerte. Whatever you want to do, good or bad, she's got your back and she's willing to help you. However, there is always a price to pay. And everything what I say is based on perspective. And this is a good early warning image for us that I usually share. And it's, what do you see in this photo? Do you see a lot of kids dancing and the mom kind of up in the air already? Or do you see a mom who's hung herself in front of a bunch of her kids who are dancing some sort of satanic ballet together, excited over Satan getting a new soul? Everything depends upon perspective. And no matter what you see in any image, how it's described to you or what you see varies from person to person in a very Rashomon-esque way. Same thing with Santa Muerte. If you come to her from a more evil background, what you get from her will be more evil. If you come to her from a more loving background, you will get more loving. But you cannot deny and you cannot not have access to the other side. You come to her loving, you have to accept that she's going to help people that you don't love. You come to her pretty evilly, she's going to help your opposition. But again, there's a lot of love for her, and people find her as this soul oasis, especially in, conservative Latino society. Let's say you're a queer person. You've been told you're bad your whole life. It's not good in Mexican society. It's not good, especially if you're effeminate in any way, or you're a woman who's, independent in quotes. A lot of people in the West see the Grim Reaper, or they see a kind of skeletal figure and they recoil like, oh, death. I don't want to think about death. But these people love it, not in a sexual way, but in a very familial way, in a way that shows that they really want to be a part of this community and they really honest to God care about her because she cares for them. It's the one deity, because again, in Catholic society, it's God. And that's it. And there might be Jesus, there's the Holy Spirit, there's the Virgin Mary, but really that's it. And they're all pretty much, intensely conservative. And if you don't believe that, then your society doesn't love you. God doesn't love you. What else is there? Death loves you. And so for people who have had such a hard life, who have no avenue of, reciprocity, cannot climb the social ladder, are being told since birth from society, from religion, everywhere that they are evil, that they will amount to nothing, that they are nothing. It's nice to finally have this cultural deity that loves you, accepts you, but most importantly, does not judge you. Because even in other religions, especially in polytheistic ones, the gods kind of have an agenda. They have a personality in that, okay, you got to approach this god this way, and this one likes this, and this one likes that, this one doesn't like that. I need to act this way in front of this one. The same kind of politesse and social games that we play with each other as humans, you kind of have to do that to the gods in a certain way too. Now with La Santa Muerte, it's that supreme, I am not going to judge you-ness. And to have something that really doesn't exist on the human level so supremely non-judgmental of you, it is supremely freeing because you can be your total and honest self. And for the first time in people's lives, especially again in conservative Latino society, it's a breath of fresh air. And then everyone else who is in that community of the Santa Muerte devotion, they're trying to emulate that. They don't judge people. And so now you find a community of people who are supremely non-judgmental, or at least they try. It doesn't matter. This photo right here. When I get high, she holds my hand. You don't know this girl's backstory. Is she like a chronic drug addict? Did she get high once? Is, getting high an escape from a brutal, very poverty level life that she has to endure? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it doesn't matter to La Santa Muerte. And especially in the United States, especially if you're on the East Coast, a lot of La Santa Muerte temples are run by trans women. And it's not even a thing. It's not like, oh, wow. Oh, good for you. Oh, that's brave. No, it's not even an issue. It's not even blinked at because La Santa Muerte doesn't judge your demographics, doesn't judge who you are in any way, shape, or form. So do her devotees also try not to judge people. Again, we have human frailties, but, we try. And yeah, you see, there's a lot of histories of her parade and how her religious cult was, supported in Mexico, became a official state religion, but became a religion that was accepted where, you don't have to pay taxes anymore kind of level. And then it was demolished. It became outlawed again. It became reviled. It's a whole lot of things. But again, we have 20 minutes. We're not going to get into that. But again, you see people, and a lot of people are really scared to get in. There's two kinds of people I usually meet who are not Latino, who really like to get into La Santa Muerte cult. One are the people who love, the creepy stuff. These are the people who grew up watching The Addams Family, Beetlejuice, are into all the goth stuff. And I love that too. But, darkness attracts darkness. So a lot of people who are into that generally go towards her. The other thing is a lot of people with problems. And I know that sounds awful, but it's true. Why is it true? Because it's tough to worship something that looks like the Grim Reaper, a feminine Grim Reaper, because when people look at you and you say, "What's your?" "Oh, I worship death. Oh, I worship the Grim Reaper." They're not going to have time to listen to a 20-minute presentation as to why. They don't have that time. They'll immediately judge you. Just like a lot of people look at this guy right here and like, "Oh, look at all this stuff with all this stuff in his face. He's a loser. He's XYZ." Same thing when you are a worshiper of or devotee of La Santa Muerte. People will judge you. It is a lightning rod for controversy. And so a lot of people who have problems or issues and baggage, a lot of them, it's kind of like owning your freak flag in a way is probably a good way to say it. Because if you can fit into normal society, life is a hell of a lot easier. So why would someone purposely make themselves the target of abuse if they don't have to? Why would someone purposely be different when, the nail that sticks up is hammered down? So a lot of people who can't hide their differentness or can't live in a way where they have to hide themselves in some sort of way, they are drawn to La Santa Muerte because their problems do not allow them to exist in quote unquote normal society. And so they just go to the extreme, and they find someone a deity who is also kind of on the extreme of, religious society, and they find the oasis of comfort. Again, just more fun photos to look at. And dealing with La Santa Muerte, without getting too much into it for time, it's a very tit for tat kind of a thing. Like, you want to make a deal with her, not so much a Faustian deal with the devil, but it's usually expected that she's not this wish granting machine. You don't pray to her and then like magic kind of happens. It's like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Because you kind of have to own it too. If anyone's heard the phrase meeting the universe halfway, it's very similar to that. So what a lot of people do is the biggest, most popular thing is getting a tattoo. And when people get a tattoo of La Santa Muerte, it's for life. They have branded themselves, and they see it as the biggest honor. But a lot of people pray that I'm going to get a tattoo, and then they don't get a tattoo. And you know what happens? Their life goes to hell. And there's examples of that in the book. But always, always, always live up to your bargain, because she will come to collect. And as the Grim Reaper, she knows how to collect. Trust. Trust. Again, there's a lot of photos. We'll just go by real quick because they're fun. If you're on YouTube, you can hit the pause button too and check these out even further. But again, another thing too is, ooh, isn't that creepy? Yes, it's creepy. Of course it's creepy. That's because you grew up thinking it was creepy. I mean, look at these kids in this photo. There's a giant, 7-8 foot skeleton in a bridal gown with candles under her in their living room. Do you know how many people in the United States, how many children would be freaked out if they walked into a room and saw that? Again, what are you growing up with? These kids grew up with this, not to fear it. See her as kind of, a statue of Our Lady of Guadalupe. That's kind of normal, right? This grew up normal to them. And it's a lot of people going back full circle. A lot of people are afraid of death. And you cannot work with La Santa Muerte if you are afraid of death, if skeletons creep you out. And it's not just that, white light, I'll just only deal with my ancestors. No, we're not talking about your ancestors. We're talking about death. We're talking about the cessation of life, the void, the uncomfortable unknown of what comes after that. If you cannot come to some sort of terms with your own morality, but your own mortality, don't deal with La Santa Muerte, because you don't know what the hell you're getting into. And again, it doesn't matter your background, because death doesn't judge. Are you not Latino in any way? That's fine. She doesn't care. She doesn't even care if you're a good person. You could be a serial killer. That's fine. She's not going to judge you for circumstances out of your control. Oh, I was born in a different culture, therefore I'm forever forbidden to deal with this, divine entity that permeates all things. No. So no matter who you are, you can get in touch with La Santa Muerte and she will help you out. Again, she doesn't care, but she doesn't care in the best possible way. It all depends on how, again, like cultural misappropriation, everything depends on how you approach her and why you approach her. She could be your best friend. She's a down girl too. She loves her tequila. You are doing some drugs. Give her some. It doesn't matter, she's a hard girl, but she loves to have fun. Again, what do you grow up with? A lot of people, these kids will grow up seeing these statues of the Grim Reaper and just see love. Yeah, honestly, when I started really getting into the La Santa Muerte devotion, now when I see skeletons, I see that as a good sign. I see that, oh, rainbows, butterflies pass me by, how a lot of people get that feeling. I get that feeling when I see that. Even if I'm walking somewhere and it's the do not enter, severe risk to own life, and you see that skull and crossbones, I'm I just saw a butterfly. So it depends. It's what you're growing up with. And before we go to any of the questions, we'll just go by a lot of these photos really quickly. Because again, how can you describe this divine presence that permeates everything in 20 minutes? Trust me, if I could, she would not be the divine that permeates everything. But again, you can go back and she has a sense of humor. She has a sense of humor. Helps you out, yes. And again, I'll end with this. You know, I don't know why everyone makes the Grim Reaper out to be a bad guy. I mean, he, or in our case, she, is just taking you to the afterlife. It's not like she killed you. It's actually quite nice of her to walk with you there. Imagine if you had to go alone. Because you could die tomorrow. Because, hey, this is you. This is my crystal ball version. It's you. Y'all gonna die. I'm gonna die. Might as well make friends with her right now. And if you want more beyond this, I'm Tomás Prower. Hit me up on social media. Twitter is probably the best way. Tomás Prower on all the socials, Facebook, Instagram, or you can get the book and read more. All these fine books as I try to figure out how to stop my screen. This inception moment of me, looking at you, look at me. Ah. Oh no. What is everyone seeing in chat right now, by the way? I can now see chat. Everyone can see nothing? Lord, like a black screen. Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. All right, so I don't know how to fix this top thing. There we go. Oh no, no one saw my slides. They were so cool too. Boo, I don't know how that happened. We'll try to figure that out. Look at this. Look, okay, that was good. Darn, those photos are so cool too. I'll try to find a way to post them up. So yes, I can see chat. And any questions? I'll try to answer here right now. Jennifer DeVoe Gillis. And if I don't pronounce your names correctly, we're going to ignore that because, you know, I can't, you know, there's only so many languages I know. If you work with Santa Muerte, can you also work with other deities? Good question, Jennifer DeVoe Gillis. Yes, you can work with other deities. Just not at the same time. Do not put her in a if you call upon her, if you pray to her or whatever you want to do with her, you do not include her in like your group of, you know, supernatural friends. No. You need to give her her own time. She's like that friend that you need to hang out with one-on-one. Don't invite her to your group parties. Do not invite her elsewhere unless it's just you and her. She likes that one-on-one time. Same thing if you want an altar. She needs her own altar. Okay. Oh, the one. Why do they call her La Niña? From Josie Jimenez. They call her, in Spanish, niña means girl. And it's kind of like, it's just a term of endearment. It's like, you know, she's my girl. Not in a romantic way of like, she's my girl, but in a way where it's just a term of endearment. Like she's my girl. She's my little girl. I love her. Blanca asks, what if you make a deal but do not get what you asked? You always get what you asked. What usually happens is it's like the saying, you know, answered prayers are not a good thing. Or when God wants to punish you, he answers your prayers. You need a lot of introspection because when you deal with her, you will get absolutely what you want. And a lot of people are like, oh my God, that sounds so wonderful. A lot of people don't have any self-control or mental discipline to know what they really need. And so when they get what they want and they think, oh, I don't want this, it's like, no, this is exactly what you asked for. You just didn't allow yourself to really look at the full effects of what was going to happen. So, and again, if you ask for something that will destroy your life and you don't know about it, she'll help grant it. Again, she's supremely neutral, so you have to be very careful of what you ask for. John, a dedicated altar, or can altar be cleared, cleansed just for her session? No, dedicated altar only. Don't be one of those people who like, oh, I cleaned the guest room for you. No, it's give her her own place in the house. And that was John's question. Jolata, SM is my favorite day of the year. I don't know what SM is, but explain that and I'll get back to that. Margaret, is it true she was an Aztec goddess originally? Again, what is truth? As Pontius Pilate said. The thing is, yes and no, because again, it's whatever you believe. There's a song called Paper Moon that says, it's not make-believe if you believe. And it's very true, because again, it's not organized religion. And in the book, you go to why her history is so murky and why she suddenly popped up in the 90s. But a lot of people think she is. Most people who are very hardcore, hardcore Latinos like to think it because it gives credence and pride to our own culture. But is she really? She's not the same, because that is she's the deities of Mictlan are very separate deities. But is she possibly an amalgamation of that and Spaniards' idea of what the Grim Reaper is? I'm more of the camp that she's a syncretic deity of, the Spanish Grim Reaper and Mexican folk ideals during the Aztec and Toltec times of death. These questions are going by quickly. Sarah Parsons, if one wanted to see up a space for her out of respect, what are things to add to it? There's a lot of people try to get really technical, like, oh, she only likes this or she only likes that. Bull. Don't believe that. Really, I always say is, don't ask other people what this deity wants. Ask her yourself. Go in prayer, go in meditation. It's like trying to find a present and like, what is so-and-so like? What is so-and-so like? How do I deal with so-and-so? Just go to so-and-so and ask them yourself. That's what I say with everything, but especially with Santa Muerte. If you really want to deal with her, ask her and she'll let you know. Because the relationship is different with every person. Sprinks, can you make friends from a distance? I don't want to ask anything from her. No, that sounds like you don't really want to be like, you don't want to ask for anything from her, nor do I want anything in return. That sounds like to me, it sounds like you're trying not to be materialistic, or you are saying that, oh, I am kind of like, I don't really want to ask for anything. I just want to be friends. From a distance, long distance relationships don't work. I would say no, because I would say you're not getting into the relationship for the right reasons. That's not to say you need to go into it for super materialistic reasons, but it is saying that it's a friendship. You shouldn't be going into it with any sort of agenda of I am or am not going to do that. Get to know the person, and whatever happens organically happens. But if you have these boundaries of like, I'm only going to be friends to a certain extent with someone before you meet them, oh, the wonders you're missing out on. Chao Batista Toledo, name cut off after that. Like, I'd like to ask if there is some relation at some extent between La Santa Muerte and La Llorona. No, other than it's the same thing as the Circus Skull Faces. It's death and it's Latino, so they must be the same, right? No, they're not the same. They're both from, again, it's just no. That's the quick answer. Sprints, yes, obviously. I'm very güero too. Leticia Ferrer Rivera, there are many Hispanics who do venerate or honor Santa Muerte as a deity, but not as a cult or religion. However, we are clear it is originally, yes, it's originally from Mexico. There's a lot of people who like to take her of like, oh, she came from this because she has mysterious origins. How does anyone know? There's kind of certain things you can know even without 100% documental proof. So she's definitely a Mexican deity. Is she popular in hoodoo and voodoo? She's becoming, because she's becoming so oh, Jericho Simon asked that. Yes, she's becoming super popular in that because she's just becoming popular in general. And so a lot of other religions like to, I hate to say the word appropriate, but appropriate her into the religion. just because she's cool, and a lot of people don't know how one-on-one you need to be with her, that it's like, oh, she's cool, she's hip, I love this thing, oh, I love death spooky things, let me add her in my pantheon. There's even in voodoo, someone created, God knows who, but this like sigil or this marker for her, and it's like, why does this Mexican deity have this, authentic voodoo sigil thing? I mean, talk about mixed messages. We have to wrap up. One more question if you need it. Yes, Moon Chica, if you are afraid to work with her, don't work with her. Essentially, if you have any like, I'm not certain I want to do this, don't. But that's it. Yeah. Okay, last one. Here it is. People who follow Leticia Ferrer Rivera. People who follow Neo-African religions from the Caribbean, like Santeria and Voodoo, are adopting Santa Muerte as part of the deities. Work with it. Yes. But again, cultures have been mixing for a long time. So if it were, I would suggest not to. But I'm not going to dictate your own life. But that's it. I don't know what happened with the photos. So we'll try to fix those somehow. But hopefully everyone liked it and everyone can see the photos later. And yeah, if you want more, contact me on social media, or of course, help pay the rent and get the book, La Santa Muerte, Unearthing the Magic and Mysticism Death by me, Tomás Prower.